Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 5. The members are me, myself, Sarifia Larsati Putri, Syed Arsyad Al-Hindwan, and Sherina Al-Shifa Amran. We will discuss the material about text cohesion. We can see in this material we're talking about the definition of text cohesion, and then grammatical cohesion, lexical cohesion, and conjunction. The first one will go to the definition of text cohesion. Cohesion refers to the resources within language that provide continuity in text, over and above that provided by clause structure and clause complexes. Hence, cohesive relations are non-structural relations which work to help a text hang together. Based on Halliday's, text cohesion is a set of lexicogrammatical systems that have evolved specifically as a research for making it possible to transcend the boundaries of the clause, that is, the domain of highest-ranking grammatical unit. Then we will go to the grammatical cohesion. Grammatical cohesion. These are the grammatical words that are used to link sentences across an entire text. Grammatical cohesion helps texts hanging together or be cohesive. That means they contribute to the terms of text unity of texture. Grammatical cohesion is based on structural content. They are divided into three. The first one is reference, substitution, and ellipsis. We will discuss first about the reference. Reference, it refers to system which introduce and track the identity of participants through text. Reference creates cohesion by creating links between elements. We can see from the example, there was once a velveteen rabbit. He was fat and bunchy. His coat was spotted brown and white, and his ears were lined with pink satin. The participant that is first introduced as non-identifiable by means of the non-specific nominal group is a velveteen rabbit, allowing the reader to establish this creature as a node in the network of meanings created in the course of the interpretation of the narrative. After having been introduced in this way, the velveteen rabbit is then presented as identifiable by means of the personal pronoun he and possessive determiner his. The second one is substitution. It's a relation between linguistic items, such as words or phrases, or in other words, it is a relation on the lexicogrammatical level, the level grammar and vocabulary or linguistic form. It is also usually as a relation in the wording rather than in the meaning. The criterion is the grammar function of the substitution item. In English, the substitution may function as a noun, as verb, or as a clause. For the example, so the king made it known to all the land that if any person could discover the secret and find out where it was that the princess danced in the night, he would have the one he liked best to take as his wife and would be king after his death. The phrase the princess become substituted by word one, which refers to the princess. And the next is ellipsis. The essential characteristic of ellipsis is something that is present in the selection of underlying systematic options that omitted in the structure. Ellipsis makes it possible to leave out parts of a structure when they can be presumed from what has gone before. We can see the example. When they were all ready, they went and looked at the soldier, but he snored on, and did not stir hand or foot. So they thought they were quite safe. The omission of the subject in the example above is classified as subject ellipsis. The sentences can be interpreted as, and he did not stir hand or foot. The word he is omitted. So we will continue to the next material will be explained by Sherina Al-Shifa Amran.
The next one, lexical cohesion. Lexical cohesion refers to the relationship between and among words, and in the relationship among them, This can be either more or less permanent, or they can be established only for that text. Lexical cohesion happens when two words in a text are semantically related in some way. In other words, they are related in terms of their meaning. Lexical cohesion is also revealing for interpersonal meanings through use of attitudinal lexis and qualitative attributes. Hassan presents 8 categories of lexical cohesion. In general, the first one, repetition, or including inflection and derivation. It is using the same word over again, but not restricted to the same morphological form. For example, the word live, live, living, and laugh. In this slide, we can see the example, like the repetition chain. The first one is garden, gardener, and gardening, and the next one is soil and soil. The second one, synonymy or similarity of meaning. For example, the word live and depart. There is also an example of paragraph which use sound and noise as the synonym. The third one, antonymy or opposite or contrastive meaning. It is a relational antonym is one of a pair of words with opposite meaning, where opposite makes sense only in the context of the relationship between the two meanings. For example, the word live and arrive. The fourth one, hyponymy or classes or superordination and subclasses, or is a type of. Hyponymy is the semantic relation between hyponyms, the quality of being hyponymous. For example, the word flower, rose, rose, daffodil is the co-hyponymous. The next one, meronymy or whole-part relationship. Meronymy is a semantic relationship of being a constituent part or member of something, or also can be said as a system of meronyms while. For example, the word flower, petal, petal is the same with the stem, so it is the co-meronym. The next category is instantial. The first one is equivalence. It is two or more items are one and the same in the context of some particular text. For example, the sentence "the sailor was their daddy." So the sailor and daddy is the same thing. It is the father of the person who was being told in this sentence. The next one, naming. It is a participant's name is provided. For example, the sentence "they call their puppy Fluffy." So puppy Fluffy is the name of their puppy. The next one is semblance. It is two or more items in the text are said to resemble each other. For example, the waves rolled in and he could see the white caps looking like seahorses. So the waves and seahorses are the things that belong in the sea. So this two thing is a semblance of a thing.
Okay, I will continue the explanation with conjunction. Conjunction is the semantic system whereby speakers relate clauses in terms of temporal sequence, consequence, comparison, and addition. Temporal relations connect clauses depending on whether the actions they encode take place at the same time or one after the other. Consequential relations connect clauses as cause and effect. Comparative relations pick out contrasts and similarities between clauses. Additive relations add or substitute extra alternative clauses to a text. Conjunction may connect clauses externally as ideational or phenomenological meanings, or internally as textual meanings, that is, as a means of staging or organizing the text as a text. To get a glimpse of what this distinction means, consider the following pair of examples. The first one is John had a flat tire. Next, he broke three spokes. And the second example is John didn't have a spare inner tube. Next, he had forgotten his wrench. In the first example, John's breaking his spokes is presented as an event following his having flat tire. In the second example, on the other hand, the clauses are not related as one even following the other in time. In fact, as far as the word in the second example described is concerned, John left his wrench behind at the same time as he left his spare tube, not later. The temporal sequence in the second example has rather to do with the speaker's organization of the things she wants to say. Her meaning could be paraphrased along the line of: first, I'm telling you that John didn't have a spare tube. Next, I'm telling you that he forgot his wrench too. Most conjunctions can be used in these two ways, expressing either a relation between events in real world or a relation between rhetorical acts within a text. A further factor which is relevant to the types of conjunction relation found in English is whether the conjunction is paratactic or hypotactic. The example for paratactic is: we walk the ring with our dogs and then we just wait. And the example for hypotactic, definite one: after we walk the ring with our dogs, we just wait. And the non-finite one, subsequent to walking the ring with our dogs, we just wait. I think that's it. Our presentation about all of this material. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.